football weather tonight in Fresno. 57 degrees, that part comfortable, but yes, the rain a factor. Okay, we can call it humidity at 98%. What it means is that it's raining tonight, and you have a coach in Jay Savell who probably doesn't mind a little bit of rain tonight. He's a coach of a team that we know wants to run the football, a defensive mind for so many years at Wyoming, second year leading the program for the Cowboys. Meanwhile, Matt Entz in year one at Fresno State, won those 2 national titles at North Dakota State, spent a couple of years at USC, and now back as a head coach, leading this Fresno State team, already bowl eligible, 6-3 this season, and vying for a Mountain West championship, trying to play their way to that. Both teams coming off of byes. The opening toss won by Fresno. They have deferred the second half. It's Luke back to return. Eric Sandvik, the kicker, sends it away, and we are underway. Here for some November Mountain West college football action. Luke brings us to the 27.
Speedy Luke brought down at the 27-yard line.
Well, there he is, Carson Conklin. He is the quarterback replacing E.J. Warner. E.J. Warner lost the job because of turnovers. A couple games ago, Conklin has not done much other than manage the offense.
Won a game with just 35 yards of passing. And a short gain as Andrew Johnson, not the president, but the linebacker, makes the tackle. 5-yard gain is Carson Conklin, again, managing only about a 50% completion rate this year. But this is just his 3rd start getting the job from E.J. Warner. Arsenault, the tailback, behind Conklin from the pistol. That was Luke who just went in motion. Touch off to Luke, who breaks through a tackle and has a first down.
You can just see how sudden he is in his movements when he makes a cut. There's a lot of guys that run a sub-4 340 out there that can't do this with acceleration in space. And you see Luke able to do that, picks up a good block on the edge from a beat, and gets up the field for a first down for the Dogs. Short passes like we talked about, Trent.
Just keep everything protected. Really feels like the mantra for both teams. Do not turn the football over. Turnovers have been a problem for both teams. Handoff goes to Luke. Cuts it back. He's able to find his way forward for a short gain of 2. So we meet the Fresno State offense, where it all begins up front. Spolmer, the center in the middle.
Yeah, he really has been their leader. And then, of course, the receivers, they want to get the ball to Freeman. He's their deep threat. We talked about Donaldson. We just saw a beat with a good block. Richie Anderson, a nice tight end with almost 25 receptions on the year.
Brandon Ramirez, the tailback to the side of Conklin. We're going to see a whole bunch of running backs tonight. It ends up going to Donaldson on the edge. Donaldson able to barrel his way forward right around the marker.
Like you said, Trent, a lot of tailbacks in this game. They start with Donaldson in the slot there, and Brandon Ramirez in the backfield. And Ramirez is going to be the lead blocker. Donaldson's coming around and receiving it in front like it's an end around. Does a good job of getting the edge.
1st and 10 at the Cowboy.
Good job by Beecham, the tight end, not to hold there on the outside. Could have got called for that pretty easily. And Fresno's got a good thing going.
This a play fake. Conklin looking to the right, just throws it away.
They wanted to get Freeman on the drive route, and he was covered up. Conklin does a good job stretching the play out and getting rid of the ball.
Wyoming has the 2nd best defense in the Mountain West. Ben Florentine has been that guy up front, the Survey High School product from here in the state of California. Team leader with 5 sacks. Look at the linebackers. Eller is that main guy. And we're already seeing Andrew Johnson, the safety, very involved early on. Luke, the tailback, next to Conklin. They'll send McLean in motion. And that's Luke able to fight forward. Seeing him turn on the Jets. Speedy's the nickname, and Speedy we saw.
Beautiful action with the offensive line. Pullers coming around, pushing everything down. Pullers coming through to lead Luke, and he makes one cut and gets right up the field. Very impressive acceleration, but a third and short situation because of the incompletion on first down. They really got to pick their spots when they throw.
So here's 3rd and 4. Again on the ground, nowhere to go. Stolzatz came up and made the stop as Donaldson shut down on 3rd and 4.
Well, they're in plus territory. It's going to be about 4th and 2. It'll be interesting to see what decision Matt Entz makes here. Donaldson just shuffles over, tries to get a good push, but like you said, Stolzatz right in the hole and making a sure tackle. And it looks like the Dogs are going to go.
It kind of in no man's land here as they go from about the 40. It's Ramirez behind Conklin. And they go to Ramirez, just needs 2 yards, and he got it and some. First down, Fresno State, as the Bulldogs convert on 4th down.
Brandon Ramirez is their guy that brings a lot of effort in the short yardage, and he's kind of worked his way into getting carries this year. A nice job by Tarwater, you see, crossing the formation and getting a block on the edge there on Braden Johnson, the big linebacker.
1st and 10 at the 33.
Really good job pushing people back. And this is really a game of that kind of leverage. Back and forth. Fresno's winning the battle right now on their first drive.
Right back to Luke. Luke has a seam. Luke cuts it inside the 15 to about the 12, where Jones Thomas drags him down.
Wow, he really got bent backwards there too. Good to see him get up. Maybe moving a little bit gingerly, but still a nice lead block from Ramirez, and Luke sees it perfectly and fires up the field like a slingshot, and he does go down. You see he gets rolled up, high load there.
After the 20-yard gain, he's on the ground and clearly in some pain, and we could see why. How that last play ended. Fresno State's drive continues as we pause here in the first. Great to see this. That's Rashawn Luke, who took a hard and awkward hit at the end of that play, but walking off on his own power. So far, Fresno State has had no trouble running the football. 7 of the first 9 plays have been on the ground, where they've gained 50 of their 60 yards of offense so far. And Matt Entz totally comfortable with that kind of football.
Well, it's like we said, Luke is going to be the explosive guy, but he's very effective between the tackles. Donaldson, the same.
It's going to go to Donaldson in this direction, and Donaldson has it in the end zone. 12 yards for a touchdown. Fresno State strikes first.
Well, that'll make people feel a little drier, even though they're not. A great job again by Jake Tarwater, the big tight end, pinning on the outside Braden Johnson, the big linebacker, and that gives Donaldson the edge. Nothing but wet grass, and he takes it to the house.
10 plays, 8 on the ground for 6 points, and a flag on the PAT try. Josh Davis, the offensive coordinator for Fresno State, has had this before. On a false start, they'll go back, dealing with multiple running backs. That's Patrick Foy, the referee, calling the false start. When he was at South Dakota, his last stop, an offensive coordinator took South Dakota to the FCS playoffs. Both the years he was the offensive coordinator, and last year had 2,000-yard rushers, the top 2 rushers in the Missouri Valley Conference. So he is plenty capable of balancing the running back room, and we're seeing that with this Fresno State team, and saw it on the opening drive. So they'll push back the PAT after the false start, try it again. Another flag. This time it looked like maybe it was Wyoming who jumped. So 5 yards back and maybe 5 yards forward. Right back where we began.
What a great drive by the Bulldogs, establishing exactly what they wanted to do. They had one short pass with Conklin, and like we said, that one is on the D, so it will be a traditional try again. See it right there with the left side of that defense.
Boxy Mamana got a little antsy. Okay, we'll try it for a third time on the PAT effort. There it's up. It is right down the middle. And Fresno State scores on the opening drive. Everything forward, no penalties, nothing backwards for Fresno State, only forward. And it results in 6 for Donaldson. Look, coaching's not easy, especially in the rain. Jay Savell, he might need some new socks. A little soggy on that sideline here at Fresno State.
He might have some of those little pellets in there. Got to dump them out. Everybody's trying to figure a way to beat the weather. Over there in the green V section. Get enough rain to grow.
10 plays, 63 yards, and a score for Fresno State to strike first. They're 4-0 this year when they have scored first this season. Now they will kick it away going to Mara and DeBlanc. It's DeBlanc who sees it skip through the checkered end zone. We see Caden Anderson, a sophomore from Southlake, Texas. In his high school days, he was a quarterback that replaced Quinn Ewers when he went off to Texas. It was Anderson that got the next chance. And now, after making 3 starts last season, he's been QB1 for about a year now, trying to find that consistency.
Primarily a drop back guy. Escapability is okay, but he's had some knee injuries. He falls forward, and he's big, 6'4", 230 pounds. See how he carries this Pokes offense tonight.
Trying to have a bounce back. Struggled in the last game at Fresno State. Threw 3 interceptions all in the first half. Pick of 8 yards.
You see the tackle, Rex Johnson. The interior is really their strength. Wes King and Jack Walsh and Barnett. Tote Harris right there. Chris Durr is their fastest receiver. And Gillenborg, an all-conference tight end that they want to target a lot more.
Tote Harris is the featured tailback, and he gets it here. Tripped up in the backfield, fought his way to the original line of scrimmage. Maybe gets a yard, but it'll be short of the marker. 3rd down and short coming up. And then you look at the 3rd best defense in the Mountain West Conference for Fresno State. As Jazon Jacks came up to make the tackle, but a man down at the end of the play.
That was Jacks.
Jacks, a Palo Alto native, about 3 hours from here.
Looks like he's okay, just loosening those legs up. Actually leads the country in fumble recoveries. Jazon Jacks.
He's got 4.
Yeah. And when asked if that was a fluke or what it means, Matt Entz said, your value in the program is parallel to your proximity to the football. So if you're falling on the football and you're all over the football, Jazon Jacks has been right on the spot. Let's see what happened to him. He's wearing number 6 there, pushing on the pile.
A shot to the arm, wrist area.
Punched in the gut, maybe. Looks to be making it to the sideline under his own power, much like Speedy Luke.
It's a bit of a punch to the gut of Fresno State if he has to come off the field.
No doubt.
Also blocked a field goal in their last game against Boise State. Caden Anderson now, 3rd and short. It's Samuel Tote Harris in the backfield. And he's got the 1st down. Caden Anderson on the keeper. As we talked a little bit about the Fresno State defense, and it starts up front. You mentioned what Jacks can bring as well. Lafayette, big piece as well. In the middle, Jaden Pearson has been huge. Titus Galjabi in the backfield, Zillian Hamilton Couple interceptions this year. Play action. Deep throw downfield, biggest throw of the night. It's got, he had to wait for it, but he got it. Past Hamilton and a reception for Chris Durr.
Anderson really got that ball down the field. There's some pressure on him from the edge as they brought an extra rusher in the corner.
They go quick, nearly picked off. The route was jumped. Harris was reading it, nearly took it away.
Well, some offensive wrinkles in here for Wyoming as they do have a new offensive coordinator, Jovan Bonight. Here's the last play. Trying to get the ball out to the perimeter, and well read beautifully by Harris. They really dodged the bullet there. That could have been a pick six. Trying to go fast, hurt the post.
Anderson's made some really nice plays this year. He's also had a lot of turnovers this year. Again to the left side, and Jordan makes the tackle.
That's Michael Jordan Jr. Not as spry as the other one, but pretty good. Transfer out of Northern Colorado. Nice tackle there, only his 14th of the year.
Bulldogs will rotate their tackles. They used 8 in their last game against Boise State. Harris again, this time Anderson from the shotgun. 3rd and 9. Looking to the left, incomplete. That was Azilian Hamilton in coverage. And 4th and long and coming.
They brought Braca from the edge on a safety blitz. It was picked up pretty well and read by Anderson, and he threw it to the right place. Just couldn't make the connection. But enough on the long pass to attempt a kick. Here comes Braca. You're going to see that. Picked up really well by Toad Harris. Anderson should be able to step into that and make that throw.
This will be a 41-yard try for Eric Sandvik, the sophomore from Colorado. And the kick is through. Somehow snuck it in the rain for 3.
It wasn't the prettiest kick, but Coach Salva will take it. Pretty productive drive for Wyoming, and they showed that they weren't afraid to stretch the field.
There's Savell. 3 points, he'll take it any way he can.
Both shoes on.
The wait is over. Barstool Sports is on the air.
Look at those guys.
So are we in Fresno, where Carson Conklin trying to lead another drive. Matt Entz happy to see his team score a touchdown on their opening possession. Wyoming came back with 3 after the 41-yard field goal by Sandvik. Capped an 8-play, 52-yard drive. Luke, the returner, will field it at the 7. Hit at the 20, and good kick coverage there for the tackle. And you knew we were going to see a lot of running the football to start the game tonight.
Donaldson getting the edge. Luke in the middle, really showing acceleration through the contact zone, which you love to see. And then once again, pinning the linebacker. Donaldson scores. We'll see if Wyoming tightens up their excellent defense, especially in the red zone, as this game goes on. And you see what they've done running the ball, specifically on the blue in Boise, Idaho, which was a big win for Fresno State. Really turned around a little bit of a skid that they were on.
During the return, holding, return team. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul, first down.
Well, that run game is going to have a whole lot further to go after they get scooted back 10 yards. You mentioned that, Skid. They lost the game at Colorado State. One, I think that probably still bothers Fresno State and the coaching staff and the fan base. That was one they feel like they let get away. Then got shut out at home, 23-0 to San Diego State, only to bounce back and win at Boise in dominating fashion, 30-7. It's Arsenault who tries to take it around that left edge. Gets all the way to the sideline. brought down after a gain of 4.
It looked like they did a good job of stringing Arsenault out, but he gets his foot in the ground way down by the sideline and turns it up a little bit like Tron, a quick corner, and gets 3 yards. It didn't look like they were going to get much out of that, and keeps the clock running. It's his 3rd year playing in this offense. He gets a lot of run. They really play about 5 backs, but Donaldson and Luke are the 2 featured guys.
Donaldson, who's back there now, a local product from Central Valley. Pass to the right. Short gain, Jaleel McClain. The reception is Joan Thomas. Makes the tackle there, and you knew defense was going to be a part of the story tonight. San Diego State is hitting just about everything in the Mountain West, but then you got Wyoming and Fresno State, the 2 next defensive teams in this conference, and on a slick, rainy California Saturday night. And well, defense coming into play.
Very philosophically similar approaches between Fresno and Wyoming. Coach Lewis at San Diego has really kind of changed the identity of that program in one offseason.
Donaldson is lined up the bottom of your screen as an empty backfield goes, and just to take it for the sack, coming in and bring him to the ground, Yisa Bogar.
Nice job by Bogar out of Rancho Cucamonga. Only a junior, doing a great job bearing down on Conklin. And he cannot escape. He comes off the edge and just with speed beats Braden Walton, the excellent freshman left tackle, and sets Fresno back to where they have to kick.
So after their opening drive had nothing backwards, it feels like everything was backwards for Fresno State on this 3-and-out. Fielded in Fresno territory, a flag at the end of it after Coonan picked it up. And flags everywhere.
Another flag
including
there.
At the end of the play,
hit.
well after the game. Play, rather.
And then a punter celebration there after drawing the penalty.
Okay, so we got some flags to sort out.
And I don't think the ref mic is working. So you're really going to have to sort it out.
Well, it's okay. We can read lips. We have some help in the booth.
We can.
Well, we're gonna do our best to try, right?
Don't make promises.
Okay.
Yeah, there really is a conference because there was a late hit there that drew another flag at the end against the punter, Nick Verdugo. Coach Saville complaining on his side.
Yeah, whatever it is, Jay Saville is not pleased about it. You know, you mentioned how similar these guys are philosophically with Jay Saville and Matt Ensign. These are 2 intense coaches, too. They bring it. Not really a surprise to have these kind of tough, defensive, gritty teams.
So first there's a flag here on the edge. The hold with the gunner.
Okay, so that's 1.
Yeah, brings him all the way to the ground. That's the flag there on the gunner, and then you see the late hit on the punter here. Right to his chest. Well, you can, but it was after the whistle. Caleb Merritt hits the punter, Verdugo.
During the return, holding return team number 31. That penalty would be 10 yards from the spot of the foul. After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness on the kicking team, on the return team, number 2. That penalty will also be enforced. First down.
So works out great for Fresno.
All right, we're going to step aside. When we come back, the Fresno Wyoming football.
Back to the 5-5-9. We kept talking about Fresno's defense, and they are relentless. You're going to see them bull rush hard, but not be able to get home. Owusu puts up the big paw and slaps it. Simeon Harris with the pick. Opportunistic every time as coach ends his defense, and good to see Jason Jacks back out on the field after he walked off.
Wyoming now takes over where they begin this drive at the 27-yard line. They ended up losing 28 yards due to penalties on the punt. And when they would have been able to start their drive in Bulldog territory. Play fake, screen pass, goes to Sam Scott, who leaps a tackler, a flag at the end of the play. It's a first down for now, but we'll see the rule.
Yeah, I think they're going to get Wes King for a hold, maybe, but at the same time, what a beautifully designed play. Wyoming ran a screen right in to the Fresno State blitz, so you saw Sam Scott really with some open field to work, and it looked like a good block by Wes King, but drew the penalty. Starting to get a lot of penalties here late in the first quarter.
During the run, holding, offense number 78. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul, first down.
Let's take a look at it.
Yeah, so more penalties here.
You're going to see Wes King coming on out. He's the left guard there, so he's going to escort Scott out there, and yeah, turns around and just grabs him. And he didn't have to. All you got to do is get your body between you and the back, and there was open field everywhere.
On first and a country mile, they keep it on the ground. Simeon Harris ultimately makes the tackle as Terran Kelman brought it back to close to the original marker where this drive began, 27.
Kelman's a pretty shifty back. Nice tackle by Harris, who we just saw make the pick. They like him. He's a little bit more of a stop-start guy, as Scott is the hammer and Harris is the perimeter flash.
It's a keeper for Anderson after the fake to Harris. Gets forward. About a yard. Braca there to bring him down.
And that's about what he's going to give you in the running game. It is a design quarterback run, and he's one-on-one with Braca. Always does a good job of falling forward. That was actually Mason Drew, the freshman quarterback who came in for one play and then came right back off.
So now it's Anderson at quarterback. Rolling to his right on 3rd and 9. Flag is thrown. Pass is dropped. Incomplete regardless, but another flag in the backfield. Pressure is coming from Claypool.
Probably another hold. Anderson coming back off the sideline.
Holding, offense number 63. That penalty's declined, fourth down.
Fresno D tightening up there. Not hard to do after the penalties really set Wyoming back, not only from the kick, but the hold on the screen pass. And then another hold that Fresno didn't even need to accept to receive this punt. And they might have some good field position depending on the return.
So after each of these teams score on their opening drives, their second drives interrupted by penalties, hit right at the spot of contact, and there's a flag there. He got to him before the ball did. Mala'ulu.
Well, it takes courage to return punts because this can happen. Was he blocked into him? There you could say that he pushed him a little bit. There's no doubt about that. But he was barreling into him. Yeah, you could definitely say that he blocked him into that penalty. Mala'ulu absorbing that contact.
There is no foul for kick catch interference. He was blocked into the returner. First down.
Let's get Steve Strimling here to just get an idea. Steve, you watched that play. What did you see where the contact was and if he was pushed into him?
Yeah, I think that's a good call. If you look, he's riding him down the field, but at the very end, he actually extends him and pushes him into the kick returner. It's a good job for the crew to see that and pick that flag up.
So the drive begins at the 13th. On the ground to Rashawn Luke. Still going, just would not quit on that play. Rolls on top of the defender. I don't know that his knee was ever down. And And then he's got the first down. Desmond Burns finally tackles him. He was rolling right, rolling left, all over defenders, and the knee never touched.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see maybe a wrist, maybe an elbow. What goes down here for Luke? It looks like maybe his behind hit the ground there. But it's pretty close. But, yeah, you could see pretty clearly there.
The ruling on the field is the runner ran for a first down. That play is under review.
Yeah, they're going to take a look at this, and we're going to talk to Steve again, because that looks, there's always, those look great, but it's very rare that the running back is able to keep his wrist, his forearm, his elbows, or his behind in this case. Am I wrong, Steve?
No, you are 100% right. His backside is down, and that's a great quick shot. We should have a quick review here, put this ball back, and move on.
But they generally won't blow the whistle there just in case, because you don't want to blow it dead because it's such a bang-bang play for the officials.
Correct. If they're not sure, they're going to let it go and let replay do their job.
So that's what we're seeing here. It's a 32-yard gain that's definitely going to be moved back. And now it's a question of where did he touch on the turf here. Rain continues to fall as the officials sort out, okay, we'll try to see what yard line he's on. It's Thomas there trying to bring him down in that play. Is Braden Johnson. You know, it's fitting that Braden Johnson be involved in a circus act kind of a play, considering that he is from Ringling, Oklahoma, a town with a population of 869. And, well, you may or may not know that John Ringling, who is one of the original owners of, yes, the circus, that town was named after him because that was the end of the line on the railroad back in that time.
After review, the runner was down at the 17-yard line. It'll be second down.
Yes, you have the Ringling brothers and later Barnum and Bailey, not the same. They would unite later.
Johnson is a big linebacker, 6'3", about 250 pounds. Not quite a circus strongman, but he knocks people back at the line of scrimmage. Transfer from Oklahoma Baptist, small school.
Team leader in tackles, and yeah, just kind of has that small town grit about him. Donaldson's in the backfield. He takes the handoff. Check out to keeper. Conklin has it on the fake. Got me, and he's pushed out of bounds. Zanesis Miller pushed him out.
You get the feeling that they want to move Carson Conklin around, get him a little bit more comfortable as the guy in this offense. They need him to be a little bit more dynamic. That was a really nice ball fake. And now a third and manageable. See if the Dogs can do something creative with their quarterback. We've seen him throw it short in this game. We haven't seen him attack downfield much at all.
A little over a minute to go here in the first quarter. To the air, a strike right through the middle to Josiah Freeman, who's got the first down.
Well, that is going to give Conklin some confidence, and that is going to give Matt Entz some confidence in him, and Josh Davis, the offensive coordinator, to call more plays like this. Threads the needle between Braden Johnson and Tyrese Boss, the corner. Good efficient throw on third down. Conklin standing in there and making a play.
First down to give. Eller there for the tackle. Donaldson had it. That last throw by Conklin, sophomore from Yorba Linda, transfer from Sac State, gets the job. A little bit of a late arrival. Wasn't here for spring ball. E.J. Warner had the edge all the way through. Conklin getting his opportunity now. And we saw the arm to get a first down when so much of his work to this point has been on the ground. As we get to the final seconds of this opening quarter. Both teams able to score their opening drives, and now the defense has taken over here on this rainy Saturday night. Fresno State leads 7-3 against Wyoming. So the Sons of the Pioneers in the background.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Teddy Roosevelt would have enjoyed this game.
A rough riding game.
It's Luke in the backfield for Fresno State. Gets the give. Nowhere to go. He was met by Braden Johnson, who's just been all over the field tonight for the Cowboys.
Yeah, great job filling up that hole. Fresno State pulled everybody around, but it developed in a way to where Wyoming is starting to grit their teeth and fill those gaps. And that creates a 3rd and long situation for Carson Conklin, a little longer than the one he just completed for the last first down conversion.
It's Elijah Gilliam that's with him now. Gilliam did not get a touch in the first quarter. He was the leading rusher for Fresno State a season ago. He'll be here to block. Conklin fires. Goes over the middle, downfield, nearly intercepted. Desmond Hearns was in the neighborhood off the deflection.
And it looked like Avit had a good chance for that. He was moving inside on an in route, and Conklin was able to step into that throw and deliver it, but it went off the hands. Let's see how much of a chance he really had. Yeah, he really had to stretch that body. He was a little bit errant, but did hit him in the hands. Zeke Avit, the transfer out of Maryland. And Fresno gets a little bit further, but they still got a kick.
Punt hits in front of the 35. This is going to be pretty good field position coming up for Wyoming when they take over at the 33. And the drive will begin. Jay Savell on the sideline. Part of the new cradle of coaches. Did you know Division III Mount Union? Yeah, that's right. Not just Jay Savell. Matt Campbell, a Mount Union guy. It was fun talking with Savell. Nick Sirianni, Jason Candle all played at Mount Union. Savell's like, yeah, there were like 1,400 students, 180 of them played football. Like, it's just part of the culture at Mount Union. Shout out to Division III. Kelman.
Down before he could get started. And loss of yardage is bad for any offense. But for both of these offenses, it's really bad because they're both taking a risk when they drop the quarterback back to throw it down the field. Both of them haven't really proven that part of their game so far this season. So to have that happen and now facing 2nd and 13 is a tall order for the Pokes.
Snapped a little bit low, picked up by Anderson, passed through the middle, was deflected. It was Eric Richardson, the target, but Embry was there.
Yeah, it looked like Lafitte was able to slap that one down. Let's take a look. Oh, no, it wasn't Lafitte. It was about 3 guys. It was Pearson. Pearson and Braca in the area. 3 guys jumped up. Everybody's going for the rebound. And now a 3rd and really unmanageable for the Pokes to try to get the ball down the field. They got them all spread out in 4 wide.
Anderson, 11 touchdowns, but 9 interceptions this year on 3rd and 13. Dropping back, has no choice but to throw it to screen pass off the hands of Kelman and falls harmlessly to the turf.
They ran a lot of action out to the right side and then tried to screen him back to the left on the short side and catch him off guard, but it was another errant throw from Caden Anderson. You see that everything looks at Gillenborg on the right, and that is just not going to be manageable for a running back to catch over his head like that in the screen game.
Mala'ulu, the punter, to return the punt. It was Edmondson who had to go up and get it on the high snap. Fair catch called inside the 25. Well, kind of the game that we expected. Defense, defense, defense. We're seeing that tonight on a soggy Saturday in St. Joaquin Valley. You can't think about Fresno State and not be reminded of the Carr brothers. Derek Carr, of course, Devontae Adams, NFL stars that once repped that Bulldog uniform. The jersey's retired. You can even see it through the rain on this Saturday night where Fresno State leads Wyoming 7-3 early on in this second quarter. Got a touchdown on the opening drive, but have not really moved the ball since. Ramirez in the backfield, and the ball comes free before Conklin dives on it to save possession.
That is an element of tonight with the rain. Ball's on the ground. We haven't seen too much of it thus far. Let's see what happens here. It's in the mesh between him and Ramirez. They're trying to get the ball out to Tarwater on that little tight end drag. Conklin has been the sharper quarterback thus far in this game, but he's only completed a couple of passes, or 4 passes.
Yeah, this game really feels like who can protect the football and who can run the ball better. That's everything. Overthrew his intended target, incomplete.
Yeah, just a little too far for a Veet.
So another 3rd and long situation, and we're now starting to see both of these teams deal with this. Neither has been able to move the ball very well since the first time they had the football.
And they're both teams that trust their defense, and both these teams have a defense that they're not afraid to put out on the field, even in adverse situations. So punting is not the end of the world. Turning it over is. Bad field position is.
Conklin steps in to throw, nearly got it for a first down, but it was dropped. Trying to get it back to a Veet who couldn't haul it in.
Second time in a row trying to target the transfer out of Maryland. Another in route this time, and he gets low and had a great opportunity to catch that ball. Good ball by Carson Conklin, throwing it away from the defenders and throwing it low so Justin Taylor couldn't get a hit on a Veet, just couldn't haul it in. And now punter's back out on the field. Lots of punts.
Moving back to return, punt gets away. Fair catch called to 38. Fresno State now just 1 first down the last 3 drives. They had 5 on their opening drive. But yeah, turnovers have been a story for both teams. And now we'll see this Wyoming team come up, and they got the 3rd most turnovers in the Mountain West, each respectively with 16 apiece.
When you play conservatively, turnovers kill you. And you look at both these teams' record, they've had some success this year, and that is not a recipe for success, turning that ball over, because neither of them can score very quickly.
Both teams have done a good job defensively at creating turnovers. Fresno State has scored 16 this year, Wyoming 13.
And we'll see if Wyoming now tries to get behind the running of Tote Harris and Sam Scott, like we talked about earlier in the game, to try to get some stability and get Caden Anderson maybe a little more comfortable. We saw him take Caden Anderson off the field and bring in the freshman Mason Groove out of Gillette, Wyoming.
Stretched arm of Clay Encake. Andre Cobb was there. Correction, that was Gillenborg, the tight end.
Gillenborg coming and running a bit of a wheel route. They had him open. He was in the secondary. Andre Cobb was the closest defender, and Anderson just overthrew him a little bit. Had a great opportunity. Well-designed play by the new offensive coordinator, Jovan Bonite.
This is 3rd game calling plays for Wyoming. 3rd and 6. Anderson rolling to his right, throws on the run, incomplete. And another 4th down. You were talking before about punting being okay. If you end your drive in a kick, it's a success. Whether it's a PAT, a field goal, or even a punt, it's okay. It's not a turnover.
Anderson moving, kind of shot, puts it out there. And again, both hands on the ball for Jalen Sargent. I don't know if he would have caught it inbounds. There's Coach Bonite swallowing another punt.
There's Edmondson, who's been busy tonight. Mala'ulu sees this one bounce to about the 27-yard line. Fresno State getting it back, up 7-3. One of the rising star coaches in college football, Matt Entz, blue collar in so many ways, leading Fresno State. Got it done at the FCS level. North Dakota State, twice a national champion. Was an assistant at USC and now at Fresno State, back as the head man. Already has Fresno State in a bowl game this year. Trying to win a Mountain West championship in year number 1. Goes to Luke, and Luke tries to turn the corner, and there's a first down on the first play for Fresno State, just their second from their opening drive.
Nice play by Luke, getting out on the perimeter and showing his speed. You see what Entz can really do with an FBS program. I got to run into him a little bit when he was at North Dakota State calling games, and that was a pleasure, and he was so impressive.
On the defense.
Such an impressive program. Somebody a little beat up on the Wyoming team, but this is an inspiring coach. He spent a year at USC and said he decided about late in that year that he had a real Jones to be a head coach again. And you see him here, it's a nice fit for him in the San Joaquin Valley.
15-yard gain, they go to Brandon Ramirez. And when you talk about Matt Entz, I mean, there's been so many different coaches that have come through at Fresno State. Now he tries to bring some stability.
Yeah. Well, Jeff Tedford was here, and everybody loved him, and Jake Hayner was with him, and then Jeff Tedford got sick, and Kalen DeBoer took over and had a lot of success. He gets hired away at Washington. Tedford comes back, and he would still be here if it wasn't for his health. Tim Skipper was the interim, now the interim at UCLA, and then they hire Matt Entz. So there's been a lot of turnover, but really a lot of the same people around here and the same mentality. Entz is a diversion because he knows a lot of different people.
The reverse goes the right side, trying to cut it forward. Josiah Freeman with that last carry before Jones Thomas brought him down, but boy, what a block on this play.
Brandon Ramirez, number 31, who just had a tough run on first down, does a great job on the edge. And if you can't get the ball down the field to your wide receivers, really nice kick out block. You might as well give it to him on a reverse so you can see Freeman's speed and watch him stretch his legs. Fresno moving again.
Fresno into Wyoming territory now as they go forward with Rashawn Luke. Eller the tackle.
You see when these teams just kind of get behind their pads and decide to run the ball 3-4 plays in a row, especially with Fresno, it reaps success. We haven't really seen Wyoming get their run game going. Every couple run plays they call, they try to throw it down the field. They had one successful throw downfield that led to the field goal, but past that, not much.
Fresno State 4 of 8 through the air. Wyoming 2 of 9 through the air. The success has all been on the ground. 2nd and 7, it's Donaldson. He takes the handoff, tries to use a stiff arm, but is brought to the ground by Braden Johnson.
Braden Johnson's been everywhere tonight. Got blocked a few times, but the young man from Ringling, Oklahoma, is juggling a lot of tackles. Takes on the block. Wears the straight arm to the chin and completes the tackle, creating a third and medium type of situation. Will be very interesting to see what Josh Davis dials up here with Carson Conklin, his inexperienced quarterback.
Might be 4-down territory, especially a game like this. It's going to be a handoff to Donaldson.
And if that is short, I think you're right, Trent.
Yeah, I mean, it's right there. Maybe a 5-yard gain, needed 6, so going to be marked a yard short. Here comes 4th and 1.
And they use Brandon Ramirez for these situations.
You almost feel like it's an easier decision because you trust your defense so much as well.
Yeah, and you've also seen Wyoming not do much offensively.
See if they end up going to Ramirez, and now Wyoming will call a timeout before this 4th and 1.
Timeout.
Just past the midway point of the
first.
second quarter.
It'll be 30 seconds.
So we'll have 2 timeouts remaining. Tomorrow on Fox, Caleb Williams and the Bears battle Justin Jefferson and the Vikings. Or Sam Darnold and the Seahawks take on Matthew Stafford and the Rams for control of the NFC West. Or other regional action. Check local listings for the game in your area, only on Fox. Fantastic NFL slate tomorrow. It's been an exciting day of college football today. We're glad to have you with us for the nightcap. I'm Trent Rush and Petros Papadakis. 4th and 1 coming up for Fresno State. Stringing together multiple first downs for the first time since their opening drive.
And when you're a team, really for any team, but you're a team that really depends on your run game and your defense, the way Coach Entz does, short yardage is critical. You have to be able to get a good push and short yardage from your O-line, your tight ends, and backs. And Ramirez, number 31 back there, is their most aggressive short yardage runner and good ball security as well.
And it goes to Ramirez. Ramirez is met, though, behind the line of scrimmage, and they don't get it. Cowboys come up with a stop.
That's Ben Florentine, the big interior nose tackle that made a great play getting to the chest of Ramirez and stopping this attempt. Wyoming's defense stands up and says no.
Against 14th ranked Michigan. It all tips off Friday night at 8 Eastern on Fox.
Fresno still up in the second quarter. In a physical game like this, you get to really look at some heroic one-on-one physical matchups. Here's Ben Florentine taking on the freshman, Braden Walton at tackle, and he fights right through that, lifts up his leg and gets to the back. Ramirez, before he can get 1 yard, Wyoming takes over after the stand.
That was a former walk-on that makes that play. Florentine slipping through some traffic before he's met was Tote Harris. Who's able to get close to the first down marker. 9-yard gain.
Here's the freshman, Tote Harris, doing a great job escaping in the backfield and getting what he can out of the run. And that sets up a second and very short. Now Wyoming will see if they dedicate themselves to this run to get the offense to catch a little bit of a rhythm. We haven't seen much of that at all tonight.
That was a 9-yard gain. Their previous 3 drives combined 11 yards, and now they have their first down since the first time they got the rock. As Tote Harris is toting the ball so well. What a great nickname, and we've seen many other great nicknames for running backs in years past.
Oh, well, I love Christian Okoye from the Inland Empire in Southern California. Ironhead Hayward. Moose Johnson's a colleague. King Henry, Icky Woods, the Kansas Comet, a real star. Jerome Bettis, the bus, Beast Mode.
I'm a Red Grange guy.
Oh, well, who isn't? The Galloping Ghost. Holding penalty there after the beautiful stretch play run by Tote Harris.
And for Wyoming, 3 3-and-outs, and then they finally get a first down, and it comes right back on the holding.
So 2nd and 11. And that really puts their play calling rhythm in jeopardy.
That was urban motion. They go back to Harris. Harris doesn't quite get what he had before, but still moves the ball forward to the 45. Titus Kajabi there to bring him down. For Harris, you know, he got the nickname Toe because even though he's a Texas native, part of the military family, they moved all over the world. He actually played football in Japan in his childhood, and his coach in his years playing in Japan said, well, you tote the ball so well when you carry it, that ought to be your nickname, and it stuck.
I feel like you don't have to go all the way to Japan to get that nickname.
Well, he did. He crossed the Pacific to get the nickname Toe. Here's 3rd and 6. Right back to Toe. Toe gets the first down. Ran right through a defender, and Jaden Davis makes the tackle.
Well, this is how you get a nickname like that, erasing the penalty and getting a first down. Look at him get his hand on the ground to stay up to get enough yardage for the first down. He's going to get just a little bit of leverage off the ground after taking a hit on the leg from Pearson. Pretty impressive fast twitch guy. Toad Harris.
Max White is in the backfield now, but it's going to be a handoff to Richardson coming around the corner. That was Drew, who was playing quarterback. He had come in for Caden Anderson. Drew ends up keeping it himself and fights forward for a gain of 1.
That is Drew coming in and out. They're pulling Anderson off the field when they want to call some designed quarterback runs. Get the freshman Drew in. Landon Sims, their normal backup, is hurt. So they have a couple options, but not that one if Anderson's not playing.
Anderson is back. Drew was on the scout team just a couple of weeks ago before Sims went down. The season-ending injury.
Wyoming, that is their second. 30 seconds.
So 1 left for Wyoming. All right, let's go check in with what's going on. Coming up at the half with Mike Hill. What's going on, Mike?
Coming up, it's the State Farm halftime. Alabama gets a rude awakening by Oklahoma. Thrilling comeback by Texas A&M against South Carolina. Plus, Michigan gets all they can handle in a wild finish at Wrigley Field. It came down to a last-second kick. Trenton Petros, come kick it with us at the half. I think I just pulled my hamstring. Oh, my goodness.
Careful there. It does look mighty warm in that studio. But boy, a lot of great storylines here on this Saturday college football as Drew goes back to the sideline. You're hearing about that game at Wrigley. Michigan, the walk-off field goal to beat Northwestern. How about the comeback for Texas A&M? Their biggest in school history.
30-3 at halftime. And I'm surprised Mike Hill got that much enthusiasm during that promo. He's notoriously very, very sad if Alabama takes a loss. It's hard to pull him off the ground. A lot of bad body language.
Oklahoma, that's a big win over the Tide, 23-21. Oklahoma needed it, and they got it done. Signature victory as they try to fight for their spot in the college football playoff. Matt Entz would like to take his team to the Mountain West title game. There does appear to be a little bit of an issue with the game clock, so that's why there's a delay, but they're getting it figured out. It's Caden Anderson back at quarterback. 2 for 9 passing, 47 yards, 40 of those 47 on 1 throw. 2nd and 9. Has time, running out of it. Fires downfield, deep in trouble, incomplete. Tried to thread the needle to Richardson through 2 Fresno State defenders, and the first pass of the drive goes incomplete.
Ryan Wilson was back there and Simeon Harris, and to be frank, they're quite lucky this ball wasn't picked, but wow, both hands on it as he was sliding into the ball, goes to Blanc. And now another 3rd and long situation, staring at the Cowboys, and this has been a real struggle.
Are you thinking 4-down territory?
This is a game of punts.
Trying to get it forward. They're in Bulldog territory. Well, that's going to end that question. Dropped down in the backfield. Titus Kajabi comes up. And Petros called it a game of punts. We got one coming up.
Kajabi's a local guy out of Fresno, Clovis West High School, playing in lieu of KT Thunderbird, who's been fabulous, but is out. And he does a great job breaking down Anderson. Not really very nimble back there as far as his capability goes, and Kajabi does a great job finishing the play, forcing the punt.
Youngest player on the defense steps up with a veteran play. Goes out of bounds around the 30, but boy, we've seen some really good defense. But it was Wyoming's defense that's really stepped up since the first drive as well.
Yeah, they've really done everything that they basically have done all season long. Making physical tackles, finding good leverage, not giving up big plays. The big stop on 4th and 1, we saw Ben Florentine bow his neck. Defense has been excellent this year under Aaron Bowl, the defensive coordinator in his 2nd season.
Donaldson and Ramirez both back there. It's the Donaldson. Made the line of scrimmage. falls forward for a short gain.
They're very stingy with that run game up front. You're going to have to earn every single yard. Florentine in the middle of that one again. Wyoming with that long pass early, Trent, kind of lulled us into thinking that they were going to light it up throwing the ball.
And they got a 40-yard completion, ended up with a field goal on that drive, but really have failed to move the ball since.
Fresno's done a little bit better, as you see there.
Play action. Conklin on the run. Looks to his right. It's incomplete. And it feels like every pass is touching the hand of somebody in the opponent's jersey, both sides. 3rd and 9 incoming.
And how many plays do you have for 3rd and long in these situations when your quarterback is not lighting it up? That's a question you got to ask these offensive coordinators. Josh Davis with the task right now.
Conklin, who took over from E.J. Warner 3 weeks ago. Conklin comes out of the pocket. Throw on the run, incomplete. Another 4th down coming up. 4th and long at that. You know, Petros, these teams play this, tough physical style. You wonder how much they just kind of want to keep it between the tackles.
Well, they do. I mean, both these teams want to run the ball and they want to play great defense, but they also want to be balanced. And when their quarterback drops back, they want to be able to execute these plays. Conklin able to turn his shoulders there and make a difficult throw. But as you've been saying all night, these throws are just a little off. Pretty much every single one.
Here go the punter. Back to return is Coonan, who calls fair catch at the 32, and then hit afterwards. Was he pushed into it? Now with some hard contact. Flags everywhere. Coonan was able to hang on to it, but ends up taking a blow.
Yeah, we've had some real physicality. These punt returners.
There is no foul in the play for kick catch interference. First down.
Yeah, they're going to say he was engaged with the blocker as well and pick up the flag.
Matt Entz, of course, having the immediate success at Fresno State. Not the only first-year coach. Doing a great job with their new programs. Dan Mullen, welcome back to college sidelines. 8 wins for UNLV. Yeah. What a story Jason had.
That's the one that really stands out to me, what he was able to do at New Mexico after Bronco Mendenhall left New Mexico and is at Utah State. And then Matt Entz, we talked about what a great fit he is here in the San Joaquin Valley.
This game has had a combined 11 drives and just 11 first downs. To the ground goes the Blanc.
And good job there by Simeon Harris. It's not just the front 7. When you're a good defense and you're great at tackling against the run, it also has to be your secondary. That time Simeon Harris, the nickel, not a big guy, only 185, but he's got a lot of responsibilities fitting up and spilling things out when it comes to the run. Makes another good play there.
And this is going to take us to the 2-minute timeout. 7-3. Fresno State leading Wyoming. Team scored their first drives. It's been all about the defense in the rain since. We got a battle in the San Joaquin Valley tonight. Well, the passing game for both teams has left a little something to be desired so far in the second quarter. No completions for either team yet as Caden Anderson tries to turn that around. He's had the biggest pass play of the night. A 40-yard completion in the first quarter that led to 3 points.
Made us think it was going to happen all night.
He's 1 for 9. It's Sam Stott behind him. Wyoming will get the ball to start the second half. They give it to Scott, who's met immediately. And that's the other part. What do these offenses do? These are really tough defensive teams. They are very difficult passing conditions with all the rain tonight.
That is part of it. There's no doubt about it. But Wyoming hasn't really established the best part of their offense, which is their running backs. That's the key to victory for them.
So timeout will be called here by Fresno State. They try to get the ball back, try to get decent field position. But yeah, we saw early on, I mean, again, both teams score on their opening drives, 125 yards of offense, but man, the last 10, sometimes you would talk about, 3.8 yards per play. We're talking 3.8 yards per drive for these teams. It's not stopping the kids from having a good time, though. Bring on the ponchos, family atmosphere. 3rd and 9. Sam Scott in the backfield. Swing pass and brought down immediately. It was Durr, but it might have fallen to the ground first and an incompletion.
Just nothing there. Everything they try is just getting bum rushed. And a great job that time. Again, by Simeon Harris, the nickel. You see the frustration from Anderson headed to the sideline. And another punt from the Cowboys. See if their defense starts getting tired. Fresno starts to get some body punches.
Another punt. Able to call the fair catch in traffic. All right, now it is time for our segment that is sweeping the nation as Pedros predicts the future.
Well, it's late at night. USC with a big win today in the rain, but Oregon's going to splash water on their hopes in Autzen Stadium next week. BYU, I believe, will flourish at Nippert Stadium. Cincinnati with a tough loss today to Arizona. Brent Brennan's doing a great job there. And Pittsburgh will be stung again like they were by Notre Dame in Atlanta against Georgia Tech. That is my prediction.
Well, you changed out of your suit quickly to put on whatever it is that you're wearing.
My Druid cloak.
Yes, your cloak. Yeah, sure. Pass deflected, the line of scrimmage, and nearly intercepted. Hearns was there, couldn't haul it in. Conklin was hit as he threw, and it's incomplete.
The transfer from Southern Illinois, Hearns had a great opportunity to give that Wyoming offense a shot in the arm. Pass rush gets to the ball just enough to knock it and make it flutter, and Wyoming cannot capitalize. However, second down, and whenever Fresno's not running the ball for 5 yards on first down, a little bit of a victory.
So 2nd and 10 coming up. Conklin completed 3 of his first 4 over his last 6. Swing pass to the backfield, and brought down in the backfield was Donaldson with nowhere to go. Negative yards. It was Eller all over him.
Evan Eller, just an awesome player, started his career at VMI. They bring a 4-man rush and they set up the screen, but Eller just runs right through the blocks.
Will be 30 seconds.
Closes to the ball in front of Polendo.
We talked with Aaron Bold, the defensive coordinator for Wyoming, earlier this week about Eller and just the heartbeat of this defense, makes everything go. He's been banged up, dealing with a shoulder injury, but a great leader, really cares about the team, cares about the program, and you can see that care and heart and effort with what Wyoming has been able to do defensively. And Jay Sawvell, I think, is very clearly has identified the prowess of this defense that Wyoming features. And part of why he made a change in offensive coordinators, we see Bowl has to be feeling really good about his Wyoming defense right now, but it's that culture that Sawvell would like to see from the offensive side. He wants the offense to have the same kind of continuity that you're seeing on the defensive side, because this Cowboy defense is very tough. 3rd and 10.
Stingy.
That's Luke, who gets the handoff, waiting for a spot, waiting for someone to go. Now bounces it out and has a little bit of running room. Jones Thomas finally caught up to Speedy Luke. The Arizona transfer gains 23 yards and a first down.
Well, it's kind of a stalemate at the line of scrimmage, and he didn't like anything he had with the Polars, so he takes it all the way back with patience after stopping his feet at the line of scrimmage.
Fresno State working quickly. Conklin's pass complete. It's Jordan Mala'ulu. The first completion of the second quarter comes with a little over a minute to go.
Now Fresno calls the timeout after the
Fresno
completion.
State, that is their second. It'll be 30 seconds. 5.
So for Fresno State, a really important game, because when you look at where they're at in the Mountain West standings, they're certainly keeping an eye on what's going on between San Diego State and Boise State. And Fresno State's title hope's still alive to try to get into that Mountain West championship game since they own the tiebreaker over the Broncos.
It's been a wild year in the Mountain West, there's no doubt about it. And I figured UNLV was going to be the way they are after talking to Mullen in the offseason. Surprised at San Diego State, really pleasantly surprised. Not surprised that Fresno is a mean and physical team. They just got another completion from their quarterback, Conklin, trying to build his confidence as the leader and shot caller for this offense. It will go a long way if they can get some points on the board here with a minute left.
They're 2nd and 6. Fresno State trying to at least get in the field goal range here. Conklin with time in the pocket, fires across the middle. That's another first down. Jaleel McClain has it. And now the Bulldog offense is moving.
Sometimes when you get into these 2-minute situations, it can wake up a quarterback and give him some confidence.
Verdugo, the kicker's been good from as long as 50. Pass downfield, incomplete. Trying to get it to the tight end, Anderson. But it stops the clock with 52 seconds to go. The long for his career, speaking of Nick Verdugo, the kicker, is 50 yards. However, the conditions tonight probably mean that he's going to need to be inside of it.
The rain seems to have let up a little bit, still coming down, but not as hard. But it's been raining this entire game.
It's Elijah Killian to the left of Carson Conklin, who has his Fresno State offense moving for just the second time all night. Pass deflected, incomplete. Pressure was there, and a late flag at the end of the play.
Very late flag. They're going to get Marquis Grant, the redshirt freshman out of Houston, Texas. It was pretty late, and the ball was deflected. So if it's deflected, they're going to call a hold, because once it's deflected, you can grab him.
That's Dylan Lynch, whose career long is 43 yards. He's on the sideline now. Mentioned Verdugo before. He's the punter. Dylan Lynch, the kicker. Hit a 43-yarder 2 games ago at Boise.
10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Yeah, it had to be a hold, because PI with the ball batted down at the line, that's probably not going to get called. Nice play there at the line of scrimmage.
Well, this would put Fresno State in field goal range for Dylan Lynch. Conklin from the shotgun. Launches towards the end zone. Downfield toss. It is incomplete. Tried to find Josiah Freeman. Marquis Grant was in coverage, and it falls to the ground.
And that's what they wanted, one-on-one coverage with their guy that stretches the field, their deepest threat, Josiah Freeman. Grant reroutes him a little bit, never really gets his head around. Some hand fighting, and it looks like Freeman kind of loses his feet at the end of that play.
So they take a shot on first down, now 2nd and 10. 41 seconds to go. Fresno State does have a timeout left. Conklin. Short pass left side. Leads Luke. And Luke steps out of bounds at the 22-yard line, pushed out by Brayton Johnson.
Well, maybe he's getting more comfortable with the wet ball or the elements, or maybe it's the play calling, or Wyoming's defense getting a little tired. They've been out there a long time, but Conklin starting to show a little bit more confidence, starting to move around a little bit more, starting to work his progression from the quarterback position.
10th play of the drive. Seconds to go in the half. Conklin will throw across midfield, incomplete. Jaleel McClain was the target.
I think Coach Sobel and Coach Bowl recognized that Conklin was getting a little too comfortable. They brought 7 guys. There it is, and all 7 are coming. Just like the Prince song, all 7 and watch them fall. And Conklin does go down, but gets rid of the ball. Tice Westland was there, the excellent defensive end, the senior.
A 40-yard attempt for Dylan Lynch. Trying to make it a 7-point game. The kick is up. The kick is through. 3 points for the Bulldogs. Their first point since the opening drive. And they go up a touchdown with 26 seconds to go before the end of the half.
And they got some of that drive because Conklin was able to complete a couple passes and look a little bit more confident. They took some shots. Going to have to really take advantage of every small opportunity in this game because they're coming few and far between, especially for Wyoming. Coach Ed's happy to see some points on the board for the first time since the first drive.
11 plays, 58 yards, results in a 40-yard field goal for the Bulldogs. Now, Wyoming will be getting the ball back to start the second half. Fresno State goes up a touchdown. And if I were to say that points are at a premium tonight, that would be the understatement of the day. And those 3 feel huge for the Bulldogs. And you look at just how Fresno State's been able to move the football. They have 11 first down now. Wyoming just 3 first downs in this entire half to this point with 26 seconds remaining before we get into halftime.
Be interesting to see what Jay Sobel elects to do here with the offense. Having a lot of trouble moving the ball like we've been talking about. But they are going to get the ball at the end, the beginning of the half. So here at the end of the first half, so you saw those numbers about what they've completed and how they've done. Yeah, going to get in victory formation.
We're talking like 23 game minutes since their last completion. And that is what's going to take us into halftime. Fresno State gets the field goal to go up 10-3 in a defensive slugfest in the San Joaquin Valley tonight. It's been raining, it's been physical, it's been a grind for both teams. And it's been defense that has won out for both through the opening 30 minutes. We will go to halftime, and when we come back from break, we're going to take you to Mike Hill and the State Farm halftime show in Los Angeles, where the Bulldogs lead 10-3 over the Cowboys. Little rain not slowing down the party at Fresno State as we take a look at the team comparison sponsored by T-Mobile. Well, defense won out in the first 30 minutes.
No doubt about it. It has been a defensive battle, and we knew that both of these teams wanted to lean on their run game and wanted to lean on their defense, and we knew that they wanted to protect the ball and keep the quarterbacks from putting it at risk. We didn't know it was going to be that much. I mean, it was very unbalanced.
It was, but we also saw some really outstanding defensive play, and really so much of it starts with the linebackers.
Great linebacking play, and really great front seven play from both defenses. And early we looked a lot at Braden Johnson and what he's able to do. Big number 9, 6'3", 250 pounds. We also saw Evan Eller make some good plays on the perimeter. There's Johnson again with a physical tackle on Donaldson. And what about Kajabi playing in place of KT Thunderbird, who was really one of their best defensive players? Out now, Kajabi doing a great job tracking down Caden Anderson there. There are some heroic stories amongst the dust and the physicality and rain of the first half of this game, but it has been a struggle for both quarterbacks, no doubt about it. Anderson more so than Conkle.
And when you look at this Wyoming offense, as limited as they were, I mean, they had decent field position. They were averaging their opening drives on the 32-yard line, but just kind of look at the way they've been able to move the football. They simply have it 11 yards in the second quarter, but it's the Wyoming offense that will get the ball to start the second half, and through all of that, only down by a touchdown, 10-3, because the Wyoming defense has been great. Fresno State really hasn't moved the ball all that well since their opening drive.
They've stayed in games because their defense has been excellent all year long.
Lynch hit the field goal, and now kicks it away. Gets picked up by DeBlanc, who's brought down shy of the 20. And now there's bodies everywhere. And this was before Wyoming went into the locker room. Offensive coordinator Jaden Bouknight had a lot to say to his offense.
Coach Bouknight getting pretty angry there and trying to hold these guys accountable. And that is something we talked about in the first half. Coach Sauvel talking about wanting Javon Bouknight to hold these guys accountable and make them as accountable as the defense. Make them play maybe a little bit more frantically. We'll see if that speech has any dividends to pay here.
Penalties also were an issue in the first half, and it looks like this is going to be another against Wyoming on the first play to start the half, coming out of the locker room after that message.
Offense, number 72, 5-yard penalty, first down.
So that's the 7th penalty tonight. The offense sluggish. And it's a Cowboy offense that even coming into this game has had a tough go, 120th nationally in scoring offense. It's Kelman, the new running back, in the backfield. Tries to bulldoze a bulldog, but only gains a yard.
And that's Pearson who makes the tackle. Excellent senior at a Utah State. As far as the transfer goes, he runs really well. Gets to the sideline well. There he is right in the middle. Wearing the number 39, reads it, and then gets right to the legs of Kelman.
Roll out for Anderson over the middle. The pass is complete. He finds the tight end, John Michael Gillenborg, his second completion of the game.
Just the second completion of the game on the first drive for Wyoming in the first half. He completed a long pass down the field, this time a short one to his excellent tight end Gillenborg. It creates a third and short situation. They need a first down. Gotta stay on the field if you're the Pokes.
Gillenborg, a all-conference player a year ago, has dealt with a lot of injuries, so that the first completion since midway through the first quarter. 3rd and 1. Fresno loading the box. Give to Sam Scott. Met at the line of scrimmage, trying to find his way forward. It's going to be close. And it looks like he'll be marked just shy as Kajabi came up to greet him at the line of scrimmage.
Well, we just showed what kind of first half Kajabi had, and here he is again. Playing the middle linebacker position. Same thing, reads it, scrapes right off the edge. That big back Sam Scott, 6'2", 230 pounds, no chance. And Wyoming's got to find a way to stay on the field. There's Coach Bouknight. We'll see what he dialed up. Scott's still in the backfield.
Deep in their own territory, Anderson just shoves his way forward, and he gets the first down on the keeper.
They use Dion DeBlanc coming in motion, the slot receiver, as the tush pusher, so to speak. Coach Sauvel at least happy to see his offense create a first down and happy to see his quarterback get another completion on that series. There's the push from DeBlanc.
And a good job up front. Who was that, fatter or fattest?
Well, the interior linemen, Wes King, Jack Walsh, and Caden Barnett, the guards in the center, they have a podcast called Fat, Fatter, and Fattest. So with all due respect, it's their name.
Well, the question is who is who? Officially, Wes King is fat. He's the left guard. Jack Walsh the center.
It goes left to right. So left guard is fat, then center is fatter, and over there at right guard, Caden Barnett is the fattest. But it's only about a 7-pound differential between the three. So it could fluctuate.
I've heard some impressive numbers on fast food meal takedowns.
Yeah, one of the podcasts was almost like the Nathan's hot dog eating contest.
Pass to the right, another completion, and again he finds Gillenborg.
He's on a roll.
He's got more completions on this drive than he had the entire first half, but you know, Gillenborg is an interesting player. We mentioned he's been hurt, but you know, talking with the coaching staff, he was a really important piece coming into this game.
There he does. A little out route, gets his head around quickly after breaking off the route quickly, making himself available to the quarterback.
Gillenborg likes it here too. This is where he got his very first completion as a Cowboy back in 2022. Wyoming hasn't won here since 2014. Hamilton in coverage. Sets up 3rd and 5.
We haven't talked much about
Embry, rather.
Corners. Yeah, Embry and Hamilton, both very good corners for Fresno State, doing a great job locking down those edges, not getting tested too much tonight. And yet another punt forced by this Fresno State defense. Wyoming's offense really struggling against this group. You got to give Nick Benedetto and Matt Entz a lot of credit. They're playing great.
That was one of the better drives Wyoming has had. This one will be fielded at 25, breaking a tackle. Past the 35 was Mala'ulu. As Fresno State gets the ball back up, a touchdown, having some fun in the rain tonight. Okay, mild for some. No, they're having a good time. It's a dance party. Bulldogs have a touchdown. All right, so the offense has been a little sluggish. Not the hot dog race. Whoa, look out. The mustard literally slipped off the hot dog.
Yeah, it's mustard, ketchup, and relish. And that is a great running style. That's how the 100-meter winner looks every 4 years in the Olympics finals.
Ketchup a little behind, but second place finish, nothing wrong with silver. Rashawn Luke is going to take the handoff for the first play of the drive for Fresno State. We saw the hot dogs running, but also the running of the Bulldogs has been the story tonight, and it was last game as well, where they ran it close to 70% of the time, and here they're doing it again. Maybe not quite as extreme.
Well, and they also want to protect the football. They don't want to turn it over. Matt Entz talking very, very much about the turnover margin and how they need to protect the football, and they have a pretty good control over the Wyoming offense.
Donaldson nowhere to go, gets dropped in the backfield. Florentine was there, Wilson was there, and Jaden Williams as well. Nowhere to go.
And plays like that create 3rd and long situations that neither of these teams want to be in. A little bit of a run game by that front. Florentine getting in there. Very physical tackle behind the line of scrimmage.
So now on 3rd and 11. It's Gilliam at running back. The pass him down. He's there to block. Pass over the middle is caught at the 50 and a first down. Able to find Abbott. That'll move the marker. 14-yard gain.
Great job by Conklin standing in there in the face of the blitz that was threatened, but they dropped out and only brought 4. He still is able to get that ball over the middle to Avit as he's sliding down. Big conversion, and an unlikely conversion if you've been watching this game, to see somebody convert a 3rd and long.
Handoff goes to Luke. Great job by Johnson to catch up to Speedy and tackle the midfield for a short pickup.
Well, Luke has had success in this game, coming up to the line of scrimmage and then sort of stopping his feet and shuffling, finding a little gap and using his acceleration. But this time Braden Johnson is wise to that, and he's kind of waiting to see where Luke is going to pop out, and he goes and closes and makes a physical tackle on the smaller back. Great play. He's been having a heck of a night. Braden Johnson, the senior transfer from Oklahoma Baptist.
Little snap. Conklin gets rid of it quickly. Swings it to the left side. That was Elijah Gilliam, the running back.
Pass complete to Elijah Gilliam.
Johnson again, or no, excuse me, that was Eller coming out and making that play. Johnson right next to him, Eller, number 6.
And 3.
Sprinting immediately out to the edge to get his arms around Gilliam. 3rd and 3. Chance to get off the field for Wyoming, although this could be one of those 4-down moments for Fresno. 2 plays to get 3 yards.
Bulldogs 3 for 10 on 3rd down at this point. Conklin with a handoff up the middle, and it's Gilliam before he's tackled by Johnson. Gets another 1st down. Petros, it does feel like we're starting to see this Fresno State offense settle in a little bit, beginning with Carson Conklin.
Well, they've had more time out on the field. They've run more plays. And Conklin has been the more comfortable quarterback between the two.
And of course, more plays for the offense also means more plays out there for the Wyoming defense.
Exactly, they're getting tired.
Conklin's only 9 of 20. Launches to the right side downfield, incomplete. Abbott was the target. And that was a shot that Conklin took at the end of that play.
Yeah, whenever they drop back, Wyoming is really coming, and they only bring 4 guys, but they get home. That's Florentine right at his hips. But they have shown ability to throw the ball down the field and have a little bit more success than we saw earlier in the game. You see hands on the hips and some heavy breathing from Wyoming. As we mentioned, they've been out there for a while.
This is Luke. Dances in the backfield. Skirts forward. Sibomana able to make the tackle. 3rd down coming up.
3rd down situations, you think about who's playing tight end for Fresno State. Richie Anderson has been their most productive guy, but they've thrown the ball to a couple others. Also getting the ball to the backs. Donaldson coming in.
3rd and 7.
This will be the 9th play of the drive. Fresno State just grinding, and grinding. This is Donaldson. Set a keeper for Conklin. And he's tackled hard at the 35.
Carson Conklin.
Chisholm and Finey there.
Finey made a nice play. Really waiting to see what happened in the mesh. Everybody's thinking about Donaldson, but Finey sees the mesh very well, sees that Conklin pulls the ball and takes it himself, and just continues onward across the formation to make the play. Staying on the field.
So they're going to go for it here on 4th and 6. I guess when Fresno State can trust the defense as much as they do, can afford to take the chance here. Donaldson in the backfield. This would be a 54-yard kick if they tried. So outside the range of Lynch. Pass across the middle is caught for a 1st down. Jake Tarwater bullies his way forward.
The South Lake Tahoe, California native on the California side. Tarwater is going to run what they call a Hank route, just right over the top of the line of scrimmage, right where the center is, and turn and show the quarterback those numbers. And a great job being decisive by Conklin, throwing that ball and converting the 1st down.
Just his 5th catch of the season. It's a big one on 4th and 6. Now a fresh set of downs. Bouncing out of 1 tackle is Ramirez, but nowhere to go.
I mean, I am impressed with this Wyoming defense. They have been out there all night and not much to show for it from the offensive side, but even if they miss a tackle like they did there with Ramirez, they rally to the football beautifully and clean things up. They really support each other with great leverage on the outside, and you see how they've improved defensively this year. Kudos to Aaron Bold, the D coordinator, in his 2nd season, doing a heck of a job.
This drive already over 6 minutes for Fresno State and counting close to 7. Conklin to pass off his back foot, looking end zone, incomplete the flag. Tried to get it to Abbott, who is in some pain.
he's still down.
Pass interference.
A one-on-one situation.
15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
And it looked like maybe the way he came down on that right arm.
Yeah. When you go down like that, you can hurt your shoulder.
And he is still on the field. Down at the moment. We'll step aside as Fresno State gets up a touchdown. There's Ezekiel Avit taken off the field in some pain, but walking off and headed over towards the medical tent. It's been a key target for Carson Conklin tonight. He will be attended to, and we'll see if he's able to return to this game. I feel like the passing game really can't afford to be losing any targets tonight. But Conklin has settled in and has Fresno State driving. This is the second red zone trip for the Bulldogs here in this game. Passing the pistol is going to give it to Luke. Luke gets met immediately. Good tackle there. Evan Eller came up for it.
They play with a lot of pride around that line of scrimmage. That was Samsula, Lucas Samsula, making a physical tackle on Luke, who's only about 5'9", 180, sub 4.340 for real, and running tough between the tackles. Done a great job and flourished in this Matt Entz, Josh Davis offense this year.
Luke and Ramirez flanking Conklin. It's Luke who takes it, tries to get around the edge. On a 3rd and long coming up for Fresno State.
And given the circumstance of this drive, you feel a little bit better about them throwing the ball in these situations. Elijah Gilliam coming in. They do like to throw him the ball.
Regardless, for Fresno State, they've worked a ton of clock. They can make it a 2-score game in the red zone right now on 3rd and 6, well in field goal range.
It's a great point.
Inside the 10. Wyoming hasn't been able to move the football at all. This is a key drive. Conklin looking downfield, trying to get it to Freeman. It's incomplete. Now here comes a 4th and 6.
You would think that that's who they would target to try to get the ball into the end zone and stretch things a little bit. Freeman is that guy. That one a little bit far. He did have a little bit of separation. A long drive as you see Conklin coming to the sideline. They hope to get 3 out.
This is a 32-yard attempt. Lynch good from 40 at the end of the first half. That made it a 10-3 game. The kick is up, and it is no good. Wide to the right. And a missed field goal has cracked the door open for the Cowboys on the road at Fresno State. Just missed it. Being a 66 Sun Bowl when they beat Florida State. And now a new quarterback into the game for Wyoming, Mason Drew. The true freshman was on the scout team 2 weeks ago. Tries to break the tackle and is brought down behind the line of scrimmage. He's been in for a couple of run plays already. And now it appears he's given the opportunity.
Oh, he's coming out.
No, he's coming out. So that's 3 times tonight he's come out for one run play, and then Caden Anderson's come right back in. Jay Salvo just trying to get something, anything, from this Pokes offense. Anderson, a pass. Broken up. Great diving effort by Zillian Hamilton.
They have not wanted to test those 2 Fresno State corners, Hamilton and Embry. And if those guys take away the edges, it really shrinks the field for Wyoming to be able to move the ball. And we've really seen that throughout the night. Great anticipation by Hamilton.
Hamilton a year ago had as many passes defended as Travis Hunter did. Eventual Heisman Trophy winner. Incomplete.
Same thing. They try to test Hamilton again, and if that ball was thrown a little bit better to Sargent, he might have driven on it and made an interception. Either way, after the missed field goal, 3 and out for the Wyoming Cowboys offense. Does not seem that the speech given by Jovan Bouknight going into the half had much effect. They are still really struggling.
3 and out for the 5th time tonight. Ball is fielded at the 45. On the run, Malulu. He's going to give pretty good field position to the Fresno State Bulldogs with about 90 seconds to go in this third quarter. And this is on the heels of Fresno State's last drive that went for 8 minutes and 13 seconds. It was 16 plays, didn't result in any points after the missed field goal, but this Wyoming defense is now right back out on the field after an 8-minute drive and then a 3 and out from the offense.
Really wearing down this group, and we've seen the mettle of this group and how much pride they've played with throughout the night, but even walls fall down, and this Wyoming defense really being put to the test here by the lack of offensive production on the other side.
For what it's worth, it's been very rainy tonight, but the rain has stopped. Donaldson gets the carry, gets to the 35-yard line. 2nd and 7 coming up after Jaden Williams made the tackle.
Yeah, Wyoming's offensive issues may extend past the weather.
Sure, I understand.
But you're right, it has stopped.
It was very rainy in the first half. Donaldson breaks through a tackle, and I think we're starting to see some of that wear on the Wyoming defense. They still get the tackle, but Donaldson gets a few extra yards. Eller doing all he can.
Yeah, that's pretty much been the story for the Pokes defense all night as we approach the fourth quarter. You see Rayshawn Luke's got 3 more carries and most of the yards. Donaldson fighting hard on the inside. Ramirez getting some run as well as he's the lone back now.
Play fake. Conklin looking end zone. Tipped up ends. Incomplete. What an effort there. Marky Grant was in coverage. Harold Duvall did all he could to haul it in. But it's a long, loud tip drill incompletion.
Really great effort from Grant to make that play as you see the hit taken by Conklin. Creates a 4th and 3, and because the field position is so good, Fresno State feeling pretty comfortable to go out there and try for it. Remember, they had that field goal missed just moments ago.
This would be a 49-yard attempt, which would also be a career long for Lynch. Some movement pre-snap.
Delay of game.
Yeah, it took him a second to call that.
5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Could not get the snap off.
So that's going to push Fresno State back 5 yards. Just took a little too long, and now the punt team comes out by Nick Verdugo. They're trying to pin the Pokes as far back as he can.
Well, their defense has really clamped down on the Wyoming offense as this game has gone on. I can see why they're doing it.
Seeing where he can field it, it'll be at the 11 with the spot where Wyoming will take over at the start of the 4th quarter. Cowboys need to get on their horse and put a drive together. They're down a touchdown in the rain tonight in Fresno. Wyoming kicked a field goal on their opening drive, but they have been held scoreless since against this stingy Fresno State defense. But now we'll see if Caden Anderson and this Wyoming offense can put a drive together that begins on the Pokes 11. Anderson, just 3 completions. Only 1 in the first half. He takes the snap and gives it to Tote Harris before Corey Foreman comes up for the tackle.
I'd like to see Wyoming give those guys the ball more. Tote Harris, Sam Scott, Kelman, just commit to the run and run the ball a few times in a row. Can't hurt that much because they really haven't been able to get anything going. That was a nice 8-yard run on first down.
They go right back to Harris, who has a first down and plenty more. There goes Tote. One man to beat, gets tripped up at midfield. Ethan Tierney may have just saved a touchdown.
And this is a tight game. A touchdown ties this game, and Tote Harris almost just shot through that hole like a missile. Tierney doing a great job catching up and making a desperate attempt to stop him, and gets just enough to trip him up. But they're in plus territory now and feeling a little better.
For a drive that began at the 11, 2 plays later, now Terry Kelman was the tailback. It was Anderson who kept it himself. Went to the left side, and Braca brought him down.
Braca, one of the better tacklers on this. Excellent tackling Fresno defense. Anderson, not the greatest runner. That's why they bring in Mason Drube to do that kind of stuff. They were trying to catch him off guard and get him in the open field, but Braca read it well and closed and made the play.
Harris on the sidelines. Kelman sets a block, looking downfield, and it is intercepted. Thrown right to a Zillion Hamilton. Without a Cowboy around him, Hamilton still has his 3rd interception of the year, first interception of the game, and a turnover gives the Bulldogs the ball back. And a flag back near the line of scrimmage. And we'll see what this means.
Well, Anderson not had good luck testing those corners. They did a good job picking up the blitz. Tierney came on the blitz. So Anderson figured he had one-on-one coverage down the field, yes. But the flag is at the end.
Is an interception during the return. Personal foul, face mask, Wyoming number 12. That 15-yard penalty will be added on to the end of the return. First down.
Yeah, Caden Anderson grabbing onto the face mask of Claypool.
Yeah,
that was the penalty.
Throws the pick, picks up the penalty. Hamilton giving the Bulldogs all the momentum.
The rain has stopped. Wyoming's offensive struggles have not, and some of it due to Fresno State's D. They bring Ethan Tierney on the blitz. Picking it up pretty well is Kelman, but still under duress is Anderson. He knows he's got one-on-one coverage and a double move on the outside, but just no chance because Zillion Hamilton, the excellent and consistent corner, was all over them.
Misdirection goes to Arsenault, and again breaks through a tackle, and Arsenault is off and running. Arsenault towards the end zone inside the 10, and he's got a touchdown. 58 yards for the senior Jonathan Arsenault has broken this game open for the Bulldogs.
Arsenault coming across to the weak side. Nice little turnaround block by Tarwater getting in the way, and he just opens up those strides and takes it to the house. And the Wyoming defense finally gives up a big play. Fresno State starting to run away now. Almost insurmountable with the way Wyoming's been playing offense.
Just a gut punch for the Cowboys. The interception and a response. 58 yards for the second touchdown of the season for Jonathan Arsenault. You think this guy enjoys the limelight? Fresno up 17-3 early on in the fourth quarter. after that big 58-yard touchdown by Jonathan Arsenault, who had not had a touchdown in 5 games. It's the second of the season, and it was a big one. And feels like a backbreaker for Wyoming. Lynch set to kick it away. To Wyoming, who now has to come out down by 14 in this fourth quarter in a game in which they have not scored since their opening drive. Miss him, and he's going to try to bring it out of the back of the end zone at the 9.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the first game ever played in Bulldog Stadium, the new 30,000-seat on-campus football and soccer facility. Today's inaugural game featuring the Bobcats of Montana State and the battling Bulldogs of Fresno State University.
How about that? 45 years ago today, this stadium opened. Well, this Valley Children's Stadium now. The Bulldog Stadium at the time was the pass complete to John Michael Gillenborg. I wonder what else happened on this November the 15th back in 1980. Well, Notre Dame beat Alabama. Alabama also went down today. Dale Earnhardt got his first NASCAR Cup Series title. And World Be Free put up 38 to beat the Suns. Handoff to Tote Harris for a first down.
I mean, I really like Tote Harris and the way he's running with a lot of purpose, and he really has throughout the game, but hasn't really had enough to get into a rhythm yet. We've seen some really good runs, particularly recently. 10 rushes for 92 yards, but it feels like they haven't really seen him that much in succession.
Again to Gillenborg on the out route. Sets up 2nd and 5.
Even though Pearson runs really well from the linebacker position, it's going to be hard for him to keep up with a guy like John Michael Gillenborg.
Yeah, for Tote Harris, he had 42 yards on 2 carries to begin their last drive that would ultimately end in an interception. Back to the freshman Harris, who fights forward and ends up picking up a first down. Michael Jordan Jr., the tackle.
He really is a home run hitter at the running back position, but also does a good job finishing plays. There's Michael Jordan Jr.
Wyoming's defense had done such a good night all game long, holding Fresno State down. But the time of possession, Fresno State's had the ball about twice as long as Wyoming has in this game. The Cowboy offense has been limited. Another deep one. Incomplete. Well overthrown to Eric Richardson. Jakari Embry in coverage.
Anderson trying to direct traffic back there, obviously seeing something that he doesn't like. Thought the receiver was going to make a different break. Perhaps that's why the ball seems so overthrown, but the passing game, unless it's something short to Gillenborg, just has been basically non-existent most of the night for the Pokes.
Play action. Pressure is on. Anderson escapes, dumps it short, and just throws it away.
A lot of pressure on him there, and then he kind of floats out to the right, looking to make a play, but excellent coverage down the field by the Bulldogs. They only rush 4. Just can't see anybody. Those corners really have the receivers locked down, and then there's nobody else available.
Dump it short to Kelman. Incomplete. Not that he had a lot of room anyway.
Yeah, but you
4th down coming.
Got to throw a more catchable ball to the back in that situation. That ball came out a little bit too hot, and it was far to the left for the back to get it. When you're throwing it to a back on a screen, it's got to be right into the chest, and you see what Toad Harris has done as opposed to the rest of the team offensively as they're trying to figure things out on the sideline, going over to Jovan Bonai, saying, what do you want me to do with that?
Now, the freshman has done his thing. He's been good in his games. He's been about it for Wyoming. Fresno State will get the ball at the 27-yard line when we come back. It's the Bulldogs up by 2 touchdowns against the Cowboys.
Well, here's the touchdown that made the Green V people feel a little bit more comfortable. You're going to see a lot of motion coming over to the left, but the play is going to the right. But the motion is really going to pull the linebacker, Braden Johnson, out of the play. He takes himself out of the play completely. Tarwater comes around and does a nice little hip swivel to get in the way, and Arsenault takes it to the house. Beautifully executed by the Dog.
This is going to be a direct snap that goes to Donaldson. He did this for a touchdown against Boise State 2 weeks ago. Ends up gaining 8 yards. Petros, you and I were talking earlier in this game about the importance of turnovers, and turnovers are always so important, but it does feel like that was especially important tonight. Sure enough, the first turnover in this game ends up immediately leading to a touchdown.
Yeah, you don't have offenses that have been great at recovering from giving the ball up. So when you see the turnover differential, it usually means a win or a loss.
This is Donaldson who gets the first down. Braden Johnson drug him down, but after the markers shall be moved.
Pretty big opportunity here for the Bulldogs to grind this one out. Under 10 minutes now. You see the turnover battle and what it means in particular to Fresno State. When they lose it, they have a bad record. When they win it, they're undefeated. And tonight they're looking pretty good right now. They have a good opportunity to run this clock and really break the back of the Pokes. This defense has been impressive throughout the night.
Patient Luke just ran out of time and room. Was looking for that seam, but there was just nowhere for him to go. And sure enough, it was Evan Eller and Braden Johnson teaming up.
He waited a little too long there, and that pursuit can get you from the backside if you stop your feet for too long at the line of scrimmage. But still running that clock and feeling more and more comfortable as this Fresno State team at home.
Looks for some space on the left side, gets around the edge and has a first down after the stiff arm. It was Miller tracking him down, and Luke shoved it out of the way. Steps out of bounds.
He's just so fast that he creates heart-stopping moments for the defense when you see this guy running in the open field. I mean, we're talking about a 10.55 in the 100 meters in high school and a legit sub 4.3 40. And he's run tough between the tackles, and he's got a sweet straight arm.
Speedy Luke. This time the handoff goes to Elijah Gilliam out of the Wildcat. Took the snap. We were just talking about Luke a moment ago, the running back from Fresno State. Spent his high school days at a very good high school, St. John Bosco.
Check out the lead block here from Brandon Ramirez. Just a team of running backs in the backfield, 2 tailbacks. Ramirez leading through, Gilliam with a nice physical run.
It's Luke, who's 6 yards short of the season high. Arizona transfer. Not going to get the 6 yards here as he gets hit hard. That was Braden Johnson on impact.
Braden Johnson has just been a physical force out there. You see Ramirez trying to lead through. Luke takes an inside route and goes right into Braden Johnson. 6'3", 250. Going to be tough to move that guy, and he plays with a lot of leverage.
It's Arsenault at the 56 yard touchdown in the backfield. Instead, a flip to Luke, who came over in motion, lined up as a receiver. On 3rd and 7, won't be enough for a first down as Ella was there to make the tackle. Great job by Ella. And then a little bit of chippiness out there.
Yeah, on the sideline there. Not good. Get out of there.
It's been a grinded out night all night long. Physical, tough teams.
I mean, they are throwing every back they have. Arsenault, Gilliam, Ramirez, Luke, and Donaldson, sometimes 2 at a time at this Wyoming defense. And Wyoming does force the punt, but not before Fresno takes a good chunk out of the 4th quarter clock. That was Josiah Freeman that was over there on the sideline mixing it up.
Luke has really carried the load for Fresno State tonight. See if Verdugo can try to pin him deep. Trying to put enough backspin on it. Can't do it. Ends up in the end zone. You know, you get to the nightcap on a big day of college football. A tough, contentious defensive game. All right, a few extra words. Fresno State by 2 scores. That's entertaining, unpredictable joy right there. Having a nice time in Fresno tonight. Yeah, the Bulldog fans are happy. They got a 2-score lead. The rain is, they've not stopped slowing down. Caden Anderson fires an incompletion. He's trying to find Toe Harris. Meanwhile, a big win for San Diego State tonight in Mountain West action. They beat Boise 17-7. Despite passing for only 17 yards in that game. The Aztecs get the victory atop the Mountain West standings. That's a significant score. Cam Anderson keeps it himself.
Good decisive move by Anderson after throwing that first one a little too hot for Harris to handle.
Third and 3, back to the ground. They go to Harris, and Harris has the first. Corey Foreman met him, and then Toe Harris says, you know what, I'm taking you with me.
He did a great job. Harris did, only 187 pounds. Corey Foreman, 250, and one of the biggest recruits in the country when he came out of Corona Centennial in Southern California to go to USC, and Harris wins that battle of wills.
Pass to the right. And they go to Durr.
He caught it on a knee, yeah. He caught it on his knee and then just decided to be decisive about that.
Didn't try to sell it.
Yeah.
Well, he's down anyway. Probably didn't want to take an extra shot. Still just a 2-possession game, but those 2 touchdowns on a night where Wyoming hasn't scored since the opening drive feels monumental. Pressure is on, and drugged down is Anderson. There to make the tackle, Julius Gandy, the senior.
They've had a lot of good play from Lafitte, Gandy, Michael Jordan Jr. Seen Logan Goodspeed a little bit. They're without Martin Owusu. One of their best defensive linemen is out this game, but they've done a great job with their front 7 against a physical Wyoming front.
Handoff goes to Kelman, tries to spin out of traffic. And he gets taken down by Harris. Julius Gandy's story is an interesting one. Started as a walk-on, played a little bit of offensive line, then the defensive line, and kind of bounced all over. And now as a senior is getting consistent playing time. And it brings up a 4th and 16 for Wyoming, and they have no choice but to go for it with just 3 minutes and change left in this game. Pressure's on. Anderson shovels it forward, tried to get it to Kelman. It's incomplete and a turnover regardless. The Bulldogs will get it back on a night where they're going to get a win.
Anderson facing that 4-man rush, and Tries to push up. Great job by Finn Claypool, who gets off blocks. Very relentless guy. A lot of motor. Motors all the way to that play's end. And the deep frustration for this Wyoming offense continues. Caden Anderson has just not had a lot of opportunities tonight to exploit anything on the Fresno State D. They've been excellent.
Conklin gets to Arsenault. Arsenault keeps going through one tackle. Finally, Johnson takes him down, but after the first.
This was a one-score game most of the game, but now just the lack of offensive production has stressed the Wyoming defense to the point where they're not going to be able to overcome what the Dogs are throwing at them right now.
The Cowboys defense has done everything you can ask for and some tonight. They'll put in some tough positions. Just did not get help from the other side. Arsenault got the first down. Might have tripped on his own teammate Ramirez in the backfield.
Yeah, he tripped on Ramirez because Evan Eller filled that hole and hit Ramirez so hard he didn't get any push. And
Wyoming calls a timeout. What a night for Rayshawn Luke. St. John Bosco product.
yeah, you just see his ability to cut and then get up the field with explosion. And it's that little acceleration within the first 5 yards. And then if he keeps going, he's a blur. But he gets to top speed really fast and sets people up. He's got really good vision and is finding some really nice creases in what is a really, really tough Wyoming defense to run the ball against. He's been excellent. And again, just never got to see him running the ball in the open field when he was at Arizona. Here in Fresno under Matt Entz, you really see what he can do and what his speed can bring.
And now starting to do it consistently. Had 88 yards last week. The last game, I should say. They're coming off a bye. And 87 again in this one. This is going to be a gift to Gilliam, last year's leading rusher for Fresno State. And that is going to take us to another Wyoming timeout. With 2:03 to go. We'll have one left, and then it'll be the 2-minute timeout. So again, trying to do what they can to get the ball back. Fresno State a first down away from officially putting this game on ice.
Coach Sauble still trying to motivate his guys, keep everybody going, but he knows that this offense needs a bit of an overhaul. They've already made a change at coordinator. We saw a little bit of the freshman quarterback coming in to run the ball, get a little more comfortable, but they've just a real inability to show creativity and stretch the field. And maybe not enough of a dedication to the run and getting the ball to Todd Harris or Sam Scott, really establishing that part of it. Been a rough one. You see the first downs.
And now for Wyoming, if they're going to make a bowl game, they're 4-5, about to be 4-6. They'll have to win at home against Nevada, who beat up San Jose State earlier today, and also get a win at Hawaii. So that's a tall order for the Cowboys to try to get to a bowl. Pass downfield in the end zone, incomplete. Trying to find Josiah Freeman, couldn't quite keep his foot in play with Jones Thomas in coverage.
Tight coverage by Jones Thomas and a nice throw by Conklin.
This is the 2-minute timeout.
And this is going to take us
Timeout on the field.
to that 2-minute timeout. Conklin wants a review. Thomas is fine with the breather. Fresno State has worn down Wyoming tonight, and they lead 17-3 with 2 minutes to play. So the last play before the timeout is under review. Josiah Freeman trying to haul in this touchdown. Let's bring in a rules expert, Steve Strimling, to see. Steve, what do you think? Is that a touchdown?
Can't believe he's still there.
I believe we have a touchdown. You know, going to the 2-minute timeout, replay's able to take a look, and we see we have control. We get that right foot down. Now it's as he's going to the ground, does he maintain? And we're going to get a shot where he does maintain control going to the ground. I think they're going to change this to a touchdown.
And should that be the case, it would put this game firmly in Fresno State's grasp for a victory tonight. Pretty much that way anyway, but this would be the official dagger. Josiah Freeman would be happy to pick up his 5th touchdown of the season, and he may just have done it on that pass from Carson Conklin.
After review, the receiver got his right foot in bounds and maintained control of the ball. It's a touchdown.
So Fresno State gets a touchdown and a victory on this Saturday night in the rain.
And that's a good play for Carson Conklin as well. Good confidence for the quarterback, and you see the reaction on the sideline. Braden Walton, the freshman left tackle, looking giddy.
You know, he's done a good job this year. That's hard to ask for a freshman to be your left tackle, especially in a group of a bunch of veteran linemen around him. As Dylan Lynch's PAT attempt is right down the middle. 24-3, Fresno State over Wyoming, and they certainly enjoyed it after the review on that Fresno State sideline.
This is the type of game that they wanted to play, a physical game, a conservative game. They really were able to do that, stifling the Wyoming offense and being able to utilize their weapons with their offense, mostly their backs.
That ends his team keeping that dream alive to try to get to the Mountain West Championship game. They still have Utah State, then will finish the year at San Jose State. 2 minutes to go. 24-3. You do feel like that 24 number probably not an accurate representation of the way Wyoming's defense played tonight. It was the offense that just did not have much go. Fresno State now up over 300 yards of offense. 110 have come in this 4th quarter, and again, they have just worn down Wyoming. LeBlanc just lets it go as Wyoming comes out, and while the Cowboys offense certainly has struggled, give some credit to Fresno State defensively. They've limited Wyoming to 25% completion rate. Wyoming's just 3 of 14 on 3rd down. They've had 5 tackles for a loss with a couple of sacks. They've forced 5 3-and-outs. Gave up that field goal on the first drive and no points in the remaining 11 minutes. And now Mason Drew will come out to play quarterback for the Cowboys. His first pass attempt of the night is a completion, able to get it to John Michael Gillenberg.
That's been available to them throughout the second half. Gillenberg running those little out routes. The difference this time, the freshman Drew from Gillette, Wyoming, makes the throw and not Caden Anderson. And we see him in consecutive plays, which we've not seen all night.
First career completion for the freshman. Now Drew has to run with it. He pump fakes and will just go out of bounds after picking up the first with Andre Cobb chasing him down. There's an injured player at the end of this one. It's Goodspeed. Logan Goodspeed, the sophomore from Bakersfield, a little further south in this San Joaquin Valley.
He grew up loving the Dogs. Gets to play for the team he grew up rooting for. I would imagine it's the same with Drew coming up in Gillette, Wyoming. You see the Mountain West standings there.
And now with Fresno State on their way to a victory tonight, just a minute 46 from that, they'll get to 7-3 in conference. Look how crowded it is at the top. 5 teams separated by just a game. San Diego State and UNLV now tied. Boise State 4-2, but look at all those 2-loss teams in the conference. I mean, that is UNLV, Hawaii, New Mexico, Fresno State, Boise State, 4-2, 4-2, 4-2. And it is just a wild year in the Mountain West. The last year of the Mountain West as we know it before things change next season. And this year has delivered with excitement and just a really competitive league with great parity.
Yeah, tough for Boise to lose Maddox Madsen. That's really the loss of their quarterback has really hurt their offense, probably hurt their chances as the year's gone on. But what a great job Jason Eck has done, Timmy Chang, Matt Entz here at Fresno. Just a lot of great coaching that we've seen this year in the conference as we see Goodspeed trying to walk it off.
You know, a year ago it was Boise State and everybody else. And I know UNLV had a very good season a year ago, but it really was.
That was a tough game, that Boise UNLV game.
Indeed it was. But it was Boise State all year. They end up in the college football playoff. This year, while San Diego State has risen and has taken the lead in the conference, there's so many other teams working. It's so close, so balanced this year. Drew. This time goes back to the ground. And it's tripped up going out of bounds. You can see the freshman, while he wants to throw, maybe feels a little bit more comfortable. Okay, if the first option or second option's not there, just not going to force the pass that doesn't exist.
Well, they're trying to get him more comfortable, and even though it doesn't seem like much, these reps in any game, especially on the road, do a lot to help mature a player.
Again, 2 weeks ago on the scout team, he got his second completion of the night. Able to find Michael Fitzgerald. And for Michael Fitzgerald, that's now 6 straight games with a completion. That's his first catch of the year. Fourth and 6 coming up.
Yeah, that one just a little short, trying to get it to Chris Durr.
But Drew getting a chance, and coaching staff talking about the 3 really good practices he had this week. They don't really want to design their offense for him per se, or come up with plays for him, but they did use him a few times tonight in running situations as Fresno State calls a timeout. Tomorrow on Fox, Caleb Williams and the Bears battle Justin Jefferson and the Vikings, or Sam Darnold and the Seahawks take on Matthew Stafford and the Rams for control of the NFC West, or other regional action. Check local listings for the game in your area only on Fox. On the West Coast, that's a big game between the Seahawks and the Rams.
You know, they had an offensive coordinator change, Wyoming, as everybody knows. Jovan Bonite, the new play caller. And you just get the feeling that now they're having to kind of learn themselves all over again. Looked like they would have been able to establish the run a little bit better earlier in the night, but just didn't happen. Trying to create balance sort of hurt the establishment of the run.
Drew slings to the left side, in and out of the hands of Andre Cobb, the defensive player in coverage. And that was on 4th down, so that's a turnover. Fresno State's getting it back with 64 seconds to go. But our first real look at Drew as a passer. Getting some reps here deep in this game as Fresno State be improving to 7-3. Wyoming will fall to 4-6. Carson Conklin just asked to take a knee. Coming out in the victory formation, the Bulldogs battled the elements tonight took care of their home field, and their defense did a tremendous job against Wyoming, and the offense did enough to grind down the Cowboys to have a big fourth quarter, creating some separation in what was a one-score game for much of the night.
Didn't feel like it, but it was.
Yeah, Fresno State.
And there was that moment that Toad Harris almost broke that long run. That would have tied the game up. It might have looked a lot different, but ultimately Fresno State, the more balanced team, ends up winning the game.
Matt Entz's squad takes care of business on their home field late night here in this Mountain West Conference. Wyoming hasn't won here since 2014, and that's going to have to continue to wait. The Bulldogs have won 5 of 6 against the Cowboys. And now for this Wyoming team, it's sorting out the offense and trying to see what they can do in 2 games remaining to try to get bowl eligible.
Very impressed with Fresno State's ability to win an ugly game, playing defense and getting a little bit more confidence for their new starting quarterback, Carson Conklin, who looked more and more comfortable as the game went on. But what a stable of backs, and their offensive line and the backs complement each other quite well.
You knew it was going to be a physical game tonight. That's what we saw. You're right. Conklin got more comfortable in his 3rd start, but it's his Fresno State Bulldogs that end up doing the job tonight. Put the hard hat on, went to work, and beat the Cowboys on this Saturday by a final of 24-3. For Petros Papadakis and our entire crew, my name is Trent Rush. Thanks for being with us for Fox College Football. Good night, everybody.
Called quarters coverage.